see, I want to bring up a comment because we will get onto the man, that number 23, because it has been floating around about Eriksen potentially making a return to Tottenham. Now, Dad says, do we still want Eriksen? So, Max, I come to you first. You can answer that one to start with.
Of course we want Eriksen. Of course. One, I don't want to see him going to another Premier League side. Like, yeah, he came in because Brentford were the side that, you know, they it was a big gamble. No one knew what it was going to be like, and we're sat here, obviously. He's been remarkable. Like, even like his health and fitness, that was the worry. But the fact he's even come in, assist, it was like he never left. Like the way he slotted into that Brentford side, he's been brilliant. And I feel like, yeah, the way he left wasn't probably the best, but sometimes players have to move on and it just doesn't work. But he's played under Conte, and I feel like you were saying with like Basuma, what player wouldn't want to come to Tottenham right now? There's everything's on the up. We've got the stadium, the training, the manager. We're actually getting backed. I mean, and you're keeping players in the team like Son and Kane. Kane's staying. He's probably gonna hopefully commit to another contract. I think I'm hearing until 27, because he's obviously not going anywhere now, because you got to remember Haaland, City. There's nowhere else that I can picture him going now. So who doesn't want to come? Champions League football, Champions League champagne football, back at the lane. Oh, I can't wait, honestly. George has probably already booked his flights to every country in the world.
Yeah, it's done. The Champions League final's been booked, mate. Since last week.
George definitely booked his flight after the kit launch, and he saw the Istanbul thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. I booked out a whole hotel.
He's joking, but 100% that's done.
Serious.
I'll tell you what, Chris Cowlins, he's booked that, mate. He booked that
100%.
Oh no, but that's the thing. I mean, obviously, the teams in contention, and obviously us, United and Brentford. But I believe there's other teams abroad now that are either after him. But he has previously said that he wants to stay in London. George, do you think that's still the case with Eriksen? Do you think it's kind of, because I think news came out today from Alistair Gold saying there's been no contact between the club for 2 weeks for Eriksen. Do you think it's kind of smoke and mirrors to kind of put off the scent that we're after him? Or do you think it's more of the case we're going after other people first before we go after Eriksen?
Yeah, I think, I think it is a little bit of smoke and mirrors, because if you look at the business that we've done so far, it's all done pretty much under the radar. Like, I feel like, obviously, Perisic and Forster, they're free signings, so they can get done a lot quicker. But Basuma, I felt like, just came out of nowhere. Like, he's a player that I've wanted for a couple of seasons, and then all of a sudden we're just hear that, oh, by the way, he's doing a medical this week, and we're going to sign him. And I feel like the Eriksen stuff just really started to heat up over the last couple of days, and I feel like this might be the way of the club trying to, calm things down to maybe as part of the negotiation deals. Because I can't believe for 1 second we're not looking at Christian Eriksen for free, a player that loves the club, and like Max was saying before, has been outstanding for Brentford, not just against maybe the bottom half teams. He's done it against the top teams he's come against. He's played well against us as well when we drew to them away. So he's definitely still got it. I've even seen him have corners beat the first man, which is just... It's unbelievable. I don't know what they've given him, because it doesn't feel real. So yeah, I'd find it very, very strange if we weren't seriously considering him. But it does look like the Spence, if we are signing him, the Spence deal is dragging on. We're obviously looking for that left centre back. So maybe the club are just prioritising other areas first. But yeah, I still think Eriksen's got to be on the cards.
Yeah, like I said, I think lots of talk about, obviously, we want that centre back, we want that right back, and we want potentially a striker. So maybe Eriksen's kind of taking a back seat at the moment, because we know there's other clubs in contention, but we know we've got that one up on him because he loves Tottenham. Do you think that's kind of the way as well, Wes? I mean, lots of people are saying, oh, we'll have to change the formation, we'll have to do this. But as we keep saying, there's 5 subs next season. We've got Champions League football. There's going to be plenty of game time. And like Conte said last season, he hated the fact that he couldn't switch it up. With Eriksen in the mix, or on the bench, or coming into the team, there is that kind of switch.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think, obviously George referenced the Brentford game. I was at that game as well, and actually Eriksen was the best player on the pitch by a country mile. Like, the first half frustrated me so much from a Tottenham perspective, because he just dropped off both Højbjerg and Bentancur, picked the ball up and was just spraying it out to those wing backs left, right and centre. And, obviously you're starting to think then, like, if he did come back, imagine like he's pinging it out to Sessegnon or Reguilon, depending what happens with him, or if it's a Spence, a Doherty or Royale, whoever's in that right-hand side. That we know that the wing backs are a key part of the way Conte sets his teams up. So if you've got somebody with that level of quality that can pick that pass, I think that can only be a good thing. I think I'm in an R in as to whether we should potentially have him back, because I feel like as a club potentially we should have moved on from him. But the more these rumours are sort of gathering pace, I'm just there like, yeah, just get him back.
I'm watching, those compilations, like, with the coming home. So I'm like, tears in my eyes.
Tears,
literally. It's just one of those like, nah, just get him back, and just like you say, see what he can do. I think it's almost one of those that screams a no-brainer, and I think that's why every Spurs fan is so passionate about getting him back. He knows the club, he knows the training ground, he knows the manager, more importantly as well. Knows how he works, and things like that. I think the only potential thing that might go against us would be United because of his relationship with Ten Hag. Obviously, Eriksen was doing a bit of training with Ajax to get himself back up to fitness, but it just seems it kind of feels like it's one of those deals that could potentially almost be too good to be true. Hey, listen, I'm not going to begrudge Eriksen coming back on a free because he's still got the quality, that we all recognised him for previously. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I wasn't all for it, but as it's going on, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
The thing is, we actually like. Oh, sorry. We actually like actually prop it in for him, because I'm here. Obviously, United and there's Brentford. I feel like Spurs have taken like a back seat and been like, we'll have you as long as you decide you want to come to us, sort of thing. So I feel like that's why Spurs have been a bit reserved of it. The fans are the ones that have made
it feels like we're that ex that's just like, hey, I'm still here, kind of thing. Like, hello, remember me?
Just chilling there,
like, just in case. Yeah,
but no,
it's
just
like, come on.
They know that the fact it's not like there's 20-30 million in the pot getting launched around. Like, it's the fact it's literally like, do you want to come back to us? If you do, then we'll get it done. Otherwise, go to Man United, and then that's the fan base. We don't want him to go Man United. So I don't know. It's one of them.
Champions League makes a massive difference because he wants to be at the top of his game again, and with the World
Cup,
it
doesn't matter, but it 100%.
Come on, with any player, it matters. If you've got Champions League to offer, they're always going to take that over Europa League or something else. Do you know what I mean? So, and
the only thing is different.
Just on the United thing as well, like if you actually look at what United got with Ten Hag coming in, he has already said in the past that he hates the way Man United have treated Donny van de Beek, and they've already got Bruno Fernandes as their main creator. So it's already tough to fit those two in regardless. And now you want to add Eriksen to the mix as well. It's like, if he's going to not play Champions League to then also suffer game time, then I think he would rather just stick with Brentford. So I don't think they're really in for the running, to be honest.
Yeah. The one thing they will obviously beat us by will be wages, because that's just how we've always worked.
But Max, you say that, if I refer back to the documentary when Levy, Mourinho and Eriksen were in the office having a chat, and Levy kind of said, look, are you leaving for financial decision or footballing decision? Because if it's financial, we'll match it. So it was at that time where Levy... And I think that goes unnoticed a bit when it comes to the documentary. But I think that was a real eye-opener for me, and going, okay, well, Levy is actually willing to match what some of the more elite clubs around Europe are willing to pay. Obviously, we know Eriksen was on the best part of 250 grand a week at Inter. Obviously, there's nowhere near getting that at Brentford. But, he could comfortably get that at United 100%. So I think it's down to us if we are going to go in for him, just to, I wouldn't say push the boat out, but just make him an offer that makes him really, really consider, his options. But I think, again, the fact he's a free transfer, I think is probably what's taking a little bit longer on that one.
Yeah, I think it's just the fact that he's just so, because we've seen what he can do. I'm not saying United, he's going to go United and suddenly they win the league. Like, that's not going to happen because they're under a rebuild. But it's just seeing a player like that play for a different club. It just wouldn't be right. It would have been like if Kane went to, obviously, like, it's totally different in terms of like he's not a striker or whatnot. But it would have been like if Kane goes to someone else in the Premier League. Like, it's like, why ain't you got a white shirt on? It's like it wouldn't suit well with it. Just wouldn't fit well with me.
So as long as he goes Leeds, it's all right then.
Well, as long as we get Rafinha.
Yeah, Rafinha shot. Yeah.
But yeah, I think we are a sucker for nostalgia. Like when Bale was rumoured coming back and then he actually came back, I was like, oh my God, this is so good. And I think with Eriksen, it's that kind of nostalgia thing. And I don't think none of us can forget not how badly he played between those 8 months, but how he just wasn't in it anymore. And I think time is a healer. So I think if we are going to get him back, now would probably be the best kind of time.